Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Recently, as we've noticed, miHoYo has been running reruns of all former 5-star characters, and for the people who don't have these 5-star characters, it is an amazing opportunity to collect these characters. Now, some of us want to prepare for these characters. Some of us have been grinding artifacts, ascension mats, and materials. I'm here to tell you today that you should stop grinding artifacts in preparation for some of these rerun characters. This is only my personal theory, but there have been large drops of evidence shown by miHoYo's previous actions. Recently, if you look at the trend that miHoYo is playing out, whenever a rerun character is released, if they don't have a designated set, then they will gain a new designated set. We can see multiple examples of this, like when Child was first release, he didn't have a viable set. People started running the Noblesse Oblige set on him. But once Dragonspine was released, he got the inclusion of the new Heart of Death set. It's the same thing for the Zhongli rerun. People were running 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Archaic Petra. But once the Tenacity of the Millelith set was released, Zhongli got a new set and people started running that set instead. And finally, with the most recent example, Albedo, he didn't have a current artifact set, so he was given the Husk of Opulent Dream set. Now, even though Eula was reran, since she already had a designated 4-piece set, she wasn't given another one because she already had a best in slot for her artifact sets. And if you look at the new upcoming rerun characters that are predicted in 2.4 and 2.5, 5-star units like Xiao run a 2-piece of the Viridescent set that gives them 15% annual damage bonus, and a Gladiator set or a Shimenawa set that gives an 18% attack damage bonus. These two sets don't mesh well with Xiao's kit, but it's the best that we can get due to the other artifact sets not dealing as much damage and being as optimal on Xiao. Because we don't have an artifact set that perfectly matches Xiao's kit like some other artifact sets, I'm predicting that Xiao is going to get his own artifact set just like all the other rerun characters in the past. Ganyu could be an exception to this artifact set rule. Although she doesn't have a 4-piece set, the Wanderer's Trope set fit her and a bunch of bow and catalyst users extremely well that are going main DPS charge shot. The Wanderer's Trope 4-piece set reads, it increases charge attack damage by 35% for bow and catalyst users only. Now, if we take a look into new characters that just got their first banner, I also don't think it's a great idea to look at their kits, estimate what their main sources of damage are going to be, and farm the chosen artifact set around that source of damage. When the Raiden Shogun first got announced, some people in the Genshin community wanted to pre-farm for the Raiden Shogun's artifact sets, so they went to the Electro domain because she would have been an electro damage dealer. Instead, upon her release, we learned that she was going to get her own artifact set, the Emblem of Severed Fate set, along with the Shimenawa set. This being said, I predict that all the new characters are going to have a new artifact set upon release, so it wouldn't be a good idea to farm for new artifact sets in preparation for new characters that you plan to roll on. If you plan to save your Primo Gems for Yaemiko, Shenhe, or Kamisato Ayato, I wouldn't waste your resin on farming the artifacts that you think they're going to use. The only exception I see for this theory is for characters who have their artifact sets released before the character banner is even released. These characters already have artifact sets that fit their kit perfectly, like Kamisato Ayaka with the Blizzard Strayer set, and Arataki Ito with the Husk of Opulent Dream set. If we take a look into Kamisato Ayaka's kit, her kit mostly revolves around dealing consistent cryo damage to frozen enemies. Her artifact set, the Blizzard Strayer set, synergizes extremely well with Ayaka. Her burst is one of the hardest hitting bursts in the entire game, but enemies can easily walk out of its long duration. If those enemies are frozen, Ayaka will get a large amount of crit rate from her artifact set, and will deal more consistent damage because the enemies are frozen and unable to move. And Arataki Ito really likes the Husk of Opulent Dream set due to the set giving him all the defense percent scaling that he needs. The main reason why I see these artifact sets being released before the character is because they fit another character just as well. I'm guessing that the Husk of Opulent Dream set was either for Albedo or Ito, but fit both characters so well that they decided to only use one artifact set. So right now, I'm guessing that everyone is thinking that MiHoYo is releasing all these new artifact sets for these new characters because they want us to waste our resin on these new artifact domains rather than use our resin for something more useful like boss drops, Mora, talent ascension materials, and weapon ascension materials. MiHoYo isn't creating all these new artifact domains just so we can waste our resin. But as they keep on releasing new characters with more complex kits, the current artifact domains and artifact sets won't fit their complex kits, and therefore they'll feel out of place and deal less damage. At the beginning of Genshin Impact, we were only given a few artifact domains just for the limited amount of characters that we had at the time. We were given the Pyro artifact set for Pyro damage dealers, the Electro artifact set for Electro damage dealers, the Geo artifact set for Geo damage dealers, the Viridescent set for Anemo supports, the Maid's Beloved set for the healer characters. We also have the Noblesse Oblige set for all the supports in the game who are not Anemo. The Bloodstained Chivalry set was for anyone who wanted to build physical damage. And the last two sets we got were the Wanderer's Trope set and the Gladiator's Finale set. These sets could only be obtained from weekly bosses and bosses around the world. The Gladiator 4-piece set increased normal attack damage for swords, claymores, and polearm users, and the Wanderer's Trope set increased charge attack damage for bows and catalyst users. At the time of our limited character pool, these 5 artifact domains fit all their kits extremely well. But over time, as Genshin Impact has gotten bigger, they released more complex characters whose kits didn't fit the current artifact sets. We only had 2 Hydra units at the time, which was Barbara, who was expected to run the Maid's Beloved set, and Xingqiu, that was expected to run the Noblesse Oblige set. Once Child was released, he needed an artifact set that would deal hydro damage, but upon his release, he had no artifact set that synergized well with his kit. We see another example of this in the Anemo category. All Anemo characters up to this point, their main focus wasn't to deal damage to the enemies. They were mostly utility characters that would reduce the resistances of elements they would swirl. We had characters like Jean, Venti, and Sucrose who were not mainly focused on dealing Anemo damage. Once Xiao came along, he was an Anemo damage DPS who didn't rely on elemental reactions and didn't care to swirl any other elements. If I were you guys right now who wanted to prepare for Xiao or Ganyu or any other future rerun characters, I would focus on farming the Mora, XP books, and boss drops. All that information is already released because they are rerun characters and they aren't going to change over time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to make sure I see you in the next video.